All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. Episode 35.
Did we check that?
I know for sure that
All
it's
right.
episode
Did we
35.
confirm?
No,
we
wait.
confirmed.
Last week was Ortiz. I remember this.
Yeah, that's why. And I couldn't tell you a number 35 for sports. I got nothing.
Justin Verlander.
Yep.
Kevin
And
Durant.
then next week will be Tristan Cassis.
Oh, Ricky
Yes.
Henderson. There you go.
When did he wear 35?
Let me look it up.
He wore 24 and 25. I can remember.
I think he wore it when he was with Seattle for that very brief time.
Henderson wore number 35 during his first stint with the A's from 79 to 84.
Oh, well,
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
the more you know.
Anyway, Ricky Henderson episode, allegedly. We're going to start with a little baseball, kind of talk about free agency, Red Sox, compare MLB All-Star Weekend to NBA, and have a little golf thing I wanted to touch on. The interesting thing happened. We can talk about a couple things golf, and then we have our Mount Suckmore, which may be a recurring
Mount
theme. I think we can
Suckmore.
bring it back in other capacities, like top 4 worst in no order, just like random shit. So I like that idea. So yeah, I'll kick it off. The Red Sox traded John Schreiber to the Royals for was it David Sandlin?
David
who's their number
Sandlin,
7
yeah.
overall prospect. What's that?
Yeah, just David Sandlin.
Oh yeah, he had pretty good strikeout numbers. He had decent numbers in high A. He's still pretty young. To me, it seems like that trade probably is made to open up a roster spot for
Sure
someone
hope
they're going to
so.
sign. But I mean, hopefully that means Montgomery.
I hope.
Yeah,
If anything, it definitely shows that. It shows that for sure the Red Sox are not planning on doing jack shit in 24. Like that, I understand their bullpen is their most loaded. Like they have the most pieces in the bullpen right now. So trade some off here and there to get pitching prospects back into the farm system. But if Schreiber's on you're a better team with Schreiber than Sandlin in 24.
yeah. I mean, they're in kind of a weird spot where they have a shitload of pitchers on their 40-man roster, but not a lot of good ones. And Schreiber did have a down year last year compared to what he was in 22. With that said,
He was a lot better
compared
as
to
a
the rest of the
starter than he
bullpen.
was as a reliever.
well, he was an opener. He was an actual starter.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah, I don't.
yeah. This Sandlin guy. I mean, looking at his numbers, he's pretty solid.
And he's young too. Was he 23, 22?
22.
Yeah, like that. So
He
just a weird trade for me.
Oh no! Well, I lied. No, he is 22, but he's going to be 23 in 3 days.
Okay. It just doesn't. It seems weird to me unless you're getting somebody to fill that roster on the 40-man, because obviously it's not him. So they're just going to trade and get one single pitching prospect that probably won't be in the bigs for at least 2 or 3 years at the earliest.
Yeah.
And just call someone up from Worcester. Like, it just doesn't really make a hell of a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't know anything else on that. I just thought it was kind of a weird move.
Yeah, I'm just kind of reading up on it a little bit, but it doesn't really. Go ahead.
Throw a curveball into our plan for today a little bit, just to talk a little more about the Red Sox and Breslow.
Sure.
Breslow as it is.
Why not?
If you look at his track, what would you give his track record? Not his track record, but grade his offseason as his first CBO of the Red Sox right now.
I would
D-
give him an incomplete. I'll give him an incomplete because I don't think it's really on him. As much as you want to put it on him, I don't think it's all him.
So that's kind of where I'm leaning, and I don't give him a D-, but I would give him around a C. I think he's done at least average with what he's been dealt. I don't think he was dealt a fair hand.
It's what he's being given by fucking fuckface McGee.
The thing is, though, is also the deals that he has done haven't been great. I guess I liked the Sale deal.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. Getting Tyler O'Neill is kind of a weird pickup. Doesn't seem to really fit into the roster.
Yeah,
but we'll see. And then Giolito, they just overpaid like hell for him.
Paid way too much.
Way too
Like
much.
that's like
Yeah. Yeah, way too much for him.
Yeah.
So,
Holy shit! Did we watch the same Lucas Giolito last year?
I mean, yeah, what he'd have like a 7 ERA or something absurd. It's just that
awful.
deal made no sense to me at all. It seemed like I was like dumbfounded when I saw that.
I mean,
when they made it.
At that point where we're at, don't even fucking sign the guy. Keep Kluber for another year. Suck it up, and then fucking.
Oh God,
Kluber's retired.
I know he retired, but that was probably because no other team was gonna fucking take him.
Seeing the headline, Red Sox pitcher Corey Kluber's like, no, do not associate it. Like he was here for half a season, if that, last year.
And by God, did he throw some good batting practice?
We got to see him in person.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Who'd they play? The Rockies, right? He pitched
didn't he
when
start
we went against the Rockies?
Did we go again? Oh yeah, because Chuck Nasty was hurt and I was pissed.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. It was him. Because then Crawford pitched when we went opening weekend against the Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
good times.
The Royals poising to win the AL Central.
Damn fucking right we are. Fucking A right, bud.
I mean, of all the teams that I would have thought were going to go all out this offseason, the Royals are at the bottom of that list.
There. Yeah, no.
I had the Red Sox above the Royals at the start of the offseason.
The fact that they locked up Bobby Witt long term, they went out and got pitching. They went out and got Hunter Renfroe. Like,
I'm actually on the Royals wagon now. Last year was just like a feeler. I'm in now.
Well, really, all they were missing last year was pitching.
Yeah,
their offense is good. It's not a bad offense at all.
And they fucking added to it.
and a good offense in a not very hitter friendly ballpark either.
Yeah.
World Series.
They could be good.
Coming.
World Series.
Yeah, 2033.
It's just World Series or bust for us this year, honestly.
No. I think that they'll make the playoffs. I think they're going to win that division. If not, I would say they have to win that division to make the playoffs because a team from that division ain't winning a wild card spot.
The Royals versus Orioles conference champion, not conference, Jesus fucking Christ.
American League
Championship game to go to the World Series.
I mean, that would be crazy. Like, that's literally like the culmination of the last 10 years of them being like the two worst teams in baseball and just building. And I mean, they have two, like, I mean, between Bobby Witt and Gunnar Henderson / Jackson Holiday, like generational shortstops / infielders, like. And then you got the Orioles bringing in Burns.
Bobby Witt is the new two-hit Witt.
Speaking of two-hit Witt going over Philadelphia, that was a good pickup for them. They got him cheap too.
Yeah,
it was like, what was it, 1 year, $5 million or something like that?
I don't know.
I didn't see his contract.
Pretty good deal, and I think that's a great pick. He's a good utility piece for that team because he can play. I think he plays every position in the infield and can play corner outfield spots. So.
I dig it.
Going off of that, also Phillies. Bryce Harper reported to spring training yesterday and was very open that he's like fully accepted his role as the first baseman. Told Dave Dombrowski he'll play wherever the hell they want him, and then came off of that saying that he wants to sign a contract into his 40s and make sure he's with the Phillies for the rest of his career.
I was dumbfounded by that when I read that. I was like, doesn't he have like 8 years left on his deal? Yeah, he's already signed to 2032.
Yeah, it's 7 years left.
Yeah.
So he'll be
39 at the time he's a free agent.
Yeah, 38 or 39. So, I mean, they're not going to sign him an extension. Like, say he comes with he has a year left.
Yeah.
And he's still playing well, they'll give him another year or two for sure, but there's no reason to extend that now. That'd be moronic.
No, yeah,
you're in a Xander Bogart situation where now you're paying shortstop money to a second baseman that's going to be 40 when his contract's done.
I can't believe that, dude. That's absolutely crazy.
Ha-Seong Kim was great last year, and they're probably kicking themselves saying we didn't have to spend the money on Bogarts because now we have our shortstop in Kim.
I'll say this: good for Bogarts. Like, get the money, dude. Like, he'd be dumb to pass up that contract. I'm so happy the Red Sox didn't. Try and match that though.
Last year he did not deliver like they wanted him to. Last year it was not good.
And it wasn't defensively. He wasn't there at the plate either, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
It was Bogarts. He's okay at the plate. Yeah. He probably hit like 270s with like 20 homers, 60, 70 RBIs, I bet.
Last year he hit 285.
Oh, okay.
Played in 155 games, so I mean he was out there.
How many homers he have?
Had 19 homers and 58 RBIs.
But still, 11-year, $280 million. That's
I mean, I get that's a good average, but that's not really production you're looking out for a guy that you spent that much money on.
no.
Mm-mm.
You need to get at least 70 RBIs and 25 home runs every year.
He's probably going to be even worse this year. The Padres took a major step back. Excuse me.
Agree. I'm losing Soto, and I think Soto was kind of the core of that team too. And Grisham, you can argue that Trent Grisham was the biggest locker room piece of that team.
Yeah.
And then they also lost Hader. They lost Lugo.
We haven't looked at their projected lineup. So they got Ha-Seong Kim, Bogarts, Tatis Machado, Cronenworth, Camposano, Profar, Batten, and Azakar. So the back half of that lineup, dog shit.
You're going to see a lot of prospects for them coming up early and fast.
Matt Batten. Who the fuck is Matt Batten?
No, never heard of him.
He's 28, and I've never even heard of the dude.
Who's that guy?
Brought him over from an independent
I've heard of
somewhere.
Jose Azakar, but you got fucking Azakar in there. You got...
Is he a catcher?
Azakar? He's an outfielder.
Oh,
Stormy would like to offer her 2 cents. She says Padres finish 4th place in the division.
Okay. Good talk.
Mark it down. Book it.
Book it.
With that said, kind of going off of players moving around with the remaining free agents, you guys get any predictions where guys are going to land?
It blows my mind to me that Bellinger still isn't on a team. I
saw Rob Manfred actually have a pretty good idea, and they're trying to implement a free agent signing window.
Yep.
Trying to implement it where free agents have to sign by a certain date.
I think it was like December
to be
31st,
on the opening day roster. Yeah.
And to be on the opening day roster?
Yeah. I like that a lot because are all the guys left Boris guys?
It should be February 1st.
I was going to say December 31st or whatever. That's kind of pushing it. But
even if it's February 14th, if it's the day that pitchers and catchers report.
Right. That's fair. Day that pitchers and catchers report. But yeah, just the fact that it's February 18th.
Because the thing is, with all these guys that are left, you haven't heard shit.
No.
Well,
like no rumblings, nothing.
Like I just said, I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys are Boris guys, and this is just how
almost all of them are.
Yeah. Okay.
I think one of the only ones that's on the table that's not is Tim Anderson.
Yeah, and
I don't know how that one doesn't surprise me as much. I agree he should be on a team, but that doesn't surprise me as much as a guy like Bellinger.
Yeah.
You think that it's Anderson preventing himself from being signed rather than teams being interested?
I think it's Anderson's antics last year.
But it's like even a guy like Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman doesn't have a team yet. Bellinger doesn't have a team yet. You got fucking 2 stud starters in Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery that still don't have teams. Like what is going on?
I feel like Chappie probably goes back to the Jays because I mean they have a third baseman in Turner, but you don't want him to be your everyday third baseman.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
2 former big Red Sox guys, Jumbo Dong and Duvall, both don't have teams yet.
Part of me kind of wants the Red Sox to bring back JD if they can get him on a good deal.
I don't think they will.
But I would like it.
Like if they could get him like 1 year, $10 million or something.
I think you see Duvall before you see JD
but
again.
Now we don't need outfielders. Now that we have O'Neill, there's a logjam in the outfield. Where it would be nice to have like a pure hitter DH. Yeah. And I mean, there's not. I know that Miggy's gone. JD is like the only pure hitting DH left.
They've already said that Yoshida is going to take most of the DH spot this year. So
I think with O'Neill, I mean, with O'Neill, Abreu, and Rafaela in the outfield, and then you got Duran floating around too.
Duran's going to be out there. Tor already said he's going to be our leadoff hitter.
Yeah, I think.
So what would you say our biggest need is right now as Red Sox fans? What would you say our biggest need is right now aside from pitching? If we needed something in the lineup outside of pitching,
a right-handed bat still, right? We didn't get anyone right-handed.
Yeah, I think like a right-handed veteran bat. I think JD is someone like that.
Even like just in the top 50 alone, right? So we'll start at 50 and just work our way down and just go over the free agents. I'll go quick. You have Donovan Solano, Ahmed Rosario, Garrett Cooper, G-Man Choi.
Choi just signed.
Did he? Okay, so Gio Urshela.
With the Yankees.
Gio Urshela, Tommy Pham, Michael Taylor, Tim Anderson, Jumbo Dick, fucking Montgomery's still there, Blake Snell still there. Yeah, I mean Chapman, Bellinger.
The thing is, I think because of logjam in the outfield, that guy that you're going to bring in, it has to be a middle infielder, I think.
Yeah.
So, like, Ahmed Rosario, I wouldn't hate. I think he's a good piece. He'd be cheap. He's fast as hell. He's got a good glove.
Fucking A. I can't believe we let fucking Kung Fu Panda Sandoval go to the Giants. We should have brought him back.
I can't believe that.
That's so crazy.
I mean, I will say, I don't know if you guys saw it. He was playing in that Baseball United League in the UAE, and he looks like he probably lost 100 pounds.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Good for that.
You were
guy.
right about...
and he was hitting tanks, too. Like, off live pitching in the games,
Wow.
he was hitting tanks. So
You were right
you
about...
could see him come back. Genuinely. He was looking
He's
good.
37. He's getting up there. But if you can
well,
put him in a DH
But it's the
spot...
Giants. The Giants aren't really in a place to. They're not. I mean, they're going to have a new manager. They don't have the pieces really to push for a playoff spot. I think it would be a good fan move. Like if he ends up being a solid bat and you DH him fucking 3-4 times a week, you're gonna get more fans there. Fucking people there love him. Like there's no risk if you can get him cheap. Honestly,
everybody was kung fu fighting.
He's
Troy
coming
went to
back.
the Mets.
New
by
Kung
the
Fu
way.
Panda's coming out. Like,
Yeah.
It's just perfect. I think Snell is another one. I'm kind of shocked he hasn't signed.
Just don't understand it. Don't
Same
get
thing
it.
with
Morris,
Montgomery.
Not Montgomery, but I know.
I think Montgomery is in like a weird in between. I think he has teams. that
Him
he's
coming to
spoken with,
Boston
but
makes so much sense.
I know.
You know, it feels like Montgomery kind of overplayed his hand, where now the Red Sox know it's between them and the Rangers don't want him. So they're just waiting for his number to come down at this point, which is so shitty. If you want the guy, you have money. Go out and fucking sign the guy you want.
But to that same point, though, it's a business. If you know you're going to get him for cheaper as these days go on, why wouldn't you?
And you're right about that.
But you're at this point where you're already training. Your pitching staff is showing up. At this point, you've waited out long enough. I think you get the number that it's at now and you pay him.
Yeah.
You bring him in and you pay him. Because a guy
I'd
like him,
be okay with it. I'm okay with paying
a guy like him, like he might not give you ace stuff. He might not be an all-star, but he's a horse. He's going to give you 200 innings every year.
No,
he's going to have a mid-freeze
ERA. He would take over the one.
Yeah, 100%. But he's just nails. You know what you're going to get from him. He's not a sporadic pitcher. You know what you're going to get.
That's going to be kind of a shitty feeling, too, if you're a guy like that. Like, fresh off a World Series, you're ready to fucking work, and now you can't even get any interest. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just going to be a weird feeling. You're just sitting around February 18th, and you still don't have a home.
It has to be Red Sox Rangers. I haven't heard anybody else that's...
There's been no other rumors flying around.
I heard rumors that the Braves are in contention to sign like 4 of like the top 10 remaining like free agents.
Because the Braves
talks are like trying to get like Montgomery and Snell, and then trading like a couple of their other starters. Like I don't. They're turning into like people are saying like the Dodgers are a super team, the Braves are a super team, and they did it organically.
Yeah,
homegrown, like 80%. It's insane.
And they're set up to pay those guys too because they have nothing on their. Well, they already have paid those guys, right? They paid them early.
Yep.
So
exactly. Those guys are paid. Yeah. Speaking of being paid, did you see Tristan Cassis today?
Yeah, said he has had no extension talks.
No, apparently he said that they started talks.
Oh, I didn't see this then.
Yeah, he was quoted in saying, I want to be a Red Sox for life. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I think I read this wrong then, because I did read that, but then I thought they were saying they stopped doing the talks.
Yes, so The Athletic posted Cassis quoted saying, I want to be here forever. And it says Tristan Cassis reveals he's talked contract extensions with the Red Sox. Okay, good.
Well, did you hear Cora at his last press conference talking about him?
Yeah.
Saying just how great he is and he's good for the city, blah, blah, blah. It seems like there's a big push to get him signed.
So are we on board with them signing Cassis to an extension, but not Raffy?
Raffy's already extended.
Did we extend him?
Yeah.
No.
13 years last offseason.
Where have you been?
That did happen.
The hell?
That did happen.
I think the big ones are I think Cassis.
I don't work tomorrow. I don't care.
I think Grisham, honestly, I would be comfortable giving him a cheap extension.
See what he does this year.
I want to see what he does this year.
Yeah.
See what he does.
Yeah.
And same with...
I think he's going to be a fucking dog, dude. I think he's going to be so fucking good in Boston.
Him and Trev up the middle, that's a fucking
gonna be
pretty
gross.
sick middle... Their whole infield is solid.
See, but
who do they have here working with him, though?
What's that?
They have Story and Pedroia at spring training working with him.
Yeah. I know.
Pedroia was down at Story's defense camp.
I think Pedroia has one of those deals with the Red Sox that like Pujols does.
Yeah.
Where because he retired a little bit early before the contract was up to like fulfill the contract, they go to spring training and train the players.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. This is just where I get so frustrated with this Red Sox team because on paper, our defense and our offense, like our defensive lineup and our offensive lineup, really aren't that bad. Like they can compete. But when you're scoring 6-7 runs a game, but your pitching staff is letting up 12, like.
Well, I think also the problem is the division you're playing in. It doesn't. Those results don't like the Red Sox finished above 500 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in our minds, it was a horrible season. If they were playing in the Central, they would have finished second. It's the division you play in. It kind of like the results are there and you can see them on paper, but because of where they finish in the division, it creates this like false front to like their actual performance.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is weird, but
I just hope I really hope that Schreiber move was to open a spot, and I hope they get someone. Anyone.
I just hope the Yankees absolutely implode and shit their pants this year.
I'm sure they will.
That would be pretty
sweet. They always do.
That's all I care about.
You guys have any more baseball stuff in that sense?
No.
Not a lot has happened in the last week.
Where we got 5 days until the Red Sox play a game.
Yeah. You guys have any thoughts on why they aren't giving guys anything past 2-year deals right now, the Red Sox?
They're going to sell.
Because I don't think they know what their long-term goal is.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think that the ownership doesn't know what their long-term plan is.
You think they're selling the Red Sox?
Outside of baseball operations, I don't think that they know what their plan is. Because teams are harder to sell with bigger contracts and long-term contracts. Thus why the Angels have had such problems trying to sell that team. It's because of the Trout and Ohtani Trout contract, pending Ohtani contract now with the Dodgers, but that Trout contract has made that team much harder to sell.
Do you think
if they can deal him, that team will sell like this.
Think they're
because they have nothing else on the books other than that.
Think they brought in Theo to try and sell it to him? Because he said he wants to be an owner one day.
I mean, the thing is that the Red Sox are such a big market team. Unless you got a guy like Cohen or the guy who bought the Padres, which those guys are few and far between, you're going to have an ownership group with a big team like this.
Yeah, Theo, he would need an ownership group at this point, but bringing the first guy in certainly helps the sale to go through.
I mean, and if I could pick an ownership group, I want baseball guys.
Yeah. I would want
team,
one led by Theo to buy the Red Sox.
What do you guys think? I think we could probably scrape together like $38 and
we were struggling to buy a $10,000.
Sell my car in my house. We'll see if they'll take it. I wouldn't even be able to pay one salary for veteran minimum for the season.
I can contribute $3.48.
I can give you a nickel.
So, moving on from baseball stuff. I don't know if you guys saw anything from.
Excited to talk about
the
slam dunk home run derby.
So I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about the Mount Rushmore stuff, and I was gonna bring it up to you guys instead of doing like a Mount Rushmore. We could do this, but we can just kind of plug it in now. I wanted us to rank the All-Star weekends for the major sports, so like NBA, NHL, MLB.
I still think for some reason,
NFL.
I know it has less. Baseball is the best one.
I 110% could not agree more.
And I don't know why there's less going on. It just...
I just feel like the game doesn't... Like, the All-Star game itself doesn't change as much compared to other sports, which, like, makes sense. You still have guys that are going out there pumping fucking 98, 99, 100 to major league hitters. Like, it's just a game with the best players in the game.
Well, and also you can also throw into those festivities a celebrity softball game, which is also awesome.
Electric.
I would rather watch that than the celebrity basketball game 100%.
I don't know. Watching Kevin Hart run around guys a foot taller than him trying to get a basket, that was funny.
That was not this year instead of Kevin Hart.
It was pretty cool watching fucking Puka Nacua throw down some fucking windmills, but...
Micah Parsons, too.
I mean,
Micah
I'll
Parsons
give him that.
is throwing yams.
Yeah.
Him and C.J. Stroud are going back and forth.
It's just the skills stuff is more exciting.
Yeah.
Like, in NBA, like, the three-point contest is cool. I feel like the dunk contest has taken a major step back
The gun.
Dude,
It's
do you
the
remember
same
when we
3
were
dunks
kids when
every
like
time.
fucking when you had like Dwight Howard did it, like when Vince Carter did
Vince
it in the
Carter,
early
yeah.
2000s.
Remember
Vince
Nate
Carter did
Robinson
some
jumping over fucking Shaq?
crazy
Uh-huh.
shit. Crazy shit. Nate Robinson, dude.
Jumping over
That shit was
Shaq.
fucking
That was
bonkers.
amazing.
He beat fucking Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Like
Mac
that was
McClung jumped
unbelievable.
over Shaq last night, but like, I don't know.
But like the thing is, like to
It's
win a
different
slam
with-
dunk contest, do stuff that people haven't done before.
It's
All
all
of
been
his
done
dunks
before.
were
That's
just
the
the
issue.
iteration of the same dunk over and over again.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. And like to a certain point, I get it. Like it's hard to do something that's never been done before in a dunk contest because there's only so much you can do with a basketball.
Have you seen that kid? I think it's Jordan Kilgannon. I think Gilcannon or whatever.
Is that the dude that's like
It's
a
the dude with like the
professional
ponytail?
dunker?
Yeah, that kid's fucking nuts. I think. Hear me out. Slam dunk contest open to everyone.
I saw
Not
that on
NBA players.
Facebook earlier today.
Open it to everybody
That'd
because
be
I
wild.
think, like, I mean, if you can open it for
Gotta go through a
if
tryout.
fucking G League guys, or send in a video.
Yeah.
Send something. You know what I mean? Like, or like, imagine how fucking crazy that would be because it's not like that slam dunk title does anything for the NBA player that wins it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that
Well,
would
you
be
get
so
paid.
cool if you just like the best dunkers in the world show up and just throw down crazy fucking dunks. I would watch that in a heartbeat.
And
Yeah.
also on the same time, so the NBA players who go and do it, they're worried about, well, what if I try to do this crazy thing and I get fucking hurt and now I'm done for the rest of
Exactly.
the season. That's why I agree with you. Like, have
Well,
people
and that's
send
why
in
Mac
videos.
McClung was out there last night. He's in the G League. What the fuck's he care? He went out there, won that shit for the second year in a row, and got a bag. Like,
What do they
Get
get
it-
a mill or something for winning it?
no, not even. You get 100K.
Really? What?
Yeah.
I
That's
think that's
wild.
what he got paid.
The-
Mac
the
McClung.
The
You get a
NBA
mill
dunk
for the home run
competition
derby.
is where the home run derby was a couple years ago before they started paying players for doing
So
it.
I think
Yeah.
MLB. What do you
You
get?
ready for how this shit's broken down? You know how much money they probably make, the NBA makes putting on this event? First place, Mac McClung won $105,000. Second place, $55K. Third place, $20K.
So Jaylen Brown got 55K. He's gonna go blow that on a dinner tomorrow night.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you get 20K for finishing third. You're not even in the final. You finished in third place, and you're getting, here you go, here's a check for 20 G's.
But for those guys, that's nothing.
I know.
I bet a lot. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like they just donate that money.
Probably
Probably
they
just
might
like fuck it, just
donate
I
it,
don't even-
or
yeah.
depending on where they are in their career.
Like, don't
that's their
even write
dinner.
me the check. Just
I
fucking
want to see if
donate
it's
that
any
money.
different. Damian Lillard,
Oh,
3-point
like for-
contest.
Oh, yeah.
winnings.
He won it this year.
Second year in a row.
Oh shit.
Let's see. How much money do they get? Does it
I
say?
gotta imagine that's probably like the same.
The answer is yes. 3-point contest winner is actually less. 3-point contest winner takes home 50K. Second gets
What?
second
Bro.
place gets 35K. Third gets 25K, and the next three each get 10K. You get 10K just for participating.
Why even pay them? Like, why even give them money? They don't fucking need that. That's so stupid.
It's like a slap in the face.
But it's like, so who participated in the 3-point contest? Let's see. So Damian Lillard, right, obviously, doesn't need it. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't need it. Trae
Just got
Young
paid.
doesn't need it. Malik
Yep.
Beasley, I mean, he could probably take an extra 50K.
He'll
Jalen
get
Brunson
10.
is about to get a bag. He's one of the best players in the league. Lauri Markkinen doesn't need it. Donovan Mitchell definitely doesn't
Definitely
need it.
doesn't
And
need it. Yeah,
Karl Anthony Towns, 10,000% does
Yeah.
not need it.
He did. No, Jesus.
I love Cat. One of my favorite players in the NBA, honestly.
Like, Jesus, dude.
I think, and I think we've talked about this before. I would love to see. So in Japan for the MLB or for the Pro Baseball All Star game, they do like games.
Yeah,
Like,
the
they'll
Yeah,
do,
bunting
like,
contest.
bunting.
hang.
So like I
Yeah.
think like MLB does that. You do bunting. I think you do like target practice for outfielders on throws. Like just do some like crazy shit. Just make some crazy games and just make it interesting. Like do a skills night
You know what
before
the
the
MLB
home run derby, or even do it like during the day before the home run derby, and then you do the home run derby after. Make the home run derby field smaller so that you can do
Yeah.
a different skills thing.
So, in terms of like electricity, the home run derby and MLB All Star Weekend will always be the best in my books.
The home run
but-
derby, like in the right environment, dude.
Yeah, But
unmatched.
they all need to take a look at how the NHL does it with their skills competition, and I think the NHL is the bar for what all all-star weekends or all-star week should be, with the amount of skills competitions that they do in that game.
Well, the thing is with that though, I know a lot of the players like think it's a joke because of how mini gamey and stuff it is. So you got to keep a certain level, and I think that's why the baseball one's so classic.
Yeah.
Is it's always been since the fucking late 70s. It's been home run derby the night before, and then the All-Star game. Always.
I don't know. The MLB also came a long way in getting more stars to go to the home run derby. Remember those couple of years where we looked at it before, where it's like they just had no one going.
Well, so here's a take. Are you guys? Which one do you prefer? The time system or the out system for the home run derby?
Outs.
So I like the outs, but I like the urgency and like the panic that the clock creates.
Yeah.
Of like you having to rush it, and it's not just you waiting to get a pitch. You have to make sure that the guy throwing to you is good. Like
so that's the same thing. Crazy. Like somebody was in it last year, and his fucking BP pitcher sucked absolute ass.
Well, I don't remember who it was because they didn't make it out of the first round.
So the only thing I want the MLB to do: clear the outfield part of the stadium. Don't send any kids out there; they'll get hurt. Give these home run derby metal bats. Juice the balls. Let's see who can hit the farthest home run.
See how far fucking Pete Alonso can hit a ball with a fucking.
So instead of so you could do the home run derby classic style, right? But then you do part of the skills contest. They get 5 swings with a metal bat.
Yeah,
and see who can hit the ball the furthest.
But like I said, 100% make sure no one is in striking distance. Because did you see the video that came out
in like Colorado? Well, I think if you put people out in the stands, it's fine. Like the ball's coming off 5-10 miles an hour faster, and it's carrying that far. Like it's not.
You just got to make sure because it happened. It almost happened this past year with wood bats. I think it was Vladdy hit one that was loft, and the next pitch he's hit a fucking laser right in the same spot.
Yeah, I don't know what he's looking up.
Yeah. Just, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely dangerous.
So I don't know. I would like to see them expand the home run or the MLB All-Star game a little bit, but at the same time it's so classic.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I would like an expansion, but it still always will be the best for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish they would kind of go back to. I think it should be like an actual draft of teams. It doesn't need to, I know that's how they determine World Series, but I think it would be cool if they did like a draft. Like you
I mean, you can do that, and you just as well just ditch the you just ditch that premise, and you just do the team that finished with a better regular season record is the home team for the World Series.
Yeah.
Which goes based on higher seeding, and then imagine they did like the NHL game where say you did like you made mini teams, so like you could do a team. So like there would be like just fielders would field, but then it would be pitchers against hitters, and you could do like a hitting team of 4 guys against 3 pitchers over like 10 outs or something, and you get points for like singles, doubles, triples, home runs, something interesting like that. I don't know. I might be looking too deep into it, but they would be kind of crazy.
I was gonna say, I just think that's just getting too far involved. Imagine Joe Buck on Thursday night for the All-Star game trying to explain all those rules.
Joe Buck can suck me.
So I wanted to go back for baseball real quick. Last thing, I just thought about this with the free agent thing. And what we were talking about with Manfred wanting to make like a free agent timeline.
Yeah.
Or
deadline.
Deadline, yeah. Imagine they say January 31st, all free agents have to be signed, otherwise they can't be on the opening day roster, right?
Yeah, you change then May 1st is the next it reopens or something.
You just created essentially trade deadline hype in the offseason for baseball. Like
it's true.
It feels like a no-brainer. Don't do it on the
deadline 14th. Day. MLB Network covers it. Yeah. They got reporters all over.
Don't do it on the 14th because I anything that's that close to the Super Bowl just scares me because no one's gonna pay attention because of the Super Bowl.
Just do it on a weeknight.
Yeah,
do it on like a Monday night or Tuesday night. Like it doesn't have to be a weekend.
Yeah,
and because like the trade deadline ends at like 4:00.
Yeah,
do this at like 7:00 or 8:00 or something, and then
Yeah.
You do a coverage from like 5 to 8 where it's just down to the wire trying to make a deal, you know? That would be it'd be cool.
Did you see Manfred said he's done after 2029?
2029.
Which I thought was stupid as shit. I'm like why
5
are
years
you
away,
announcing
dog.
it 5 years away?
Yeah, he was just giving baseball fans hope. Well, maybe the next day I'll be better.
It wasn't
than
even
him.
like I'll be done. It's like, no, that's when your contract's up. And you wouldn't have been reelected anyways.
No.
Like,
Shitter.
Thanks for telling us what we already know, Rob.
What a big
Literally.
old stinker.
That was all I wanted. I just had those last thoughts.
So I guess jump into a little golf. I think we only
Jordan
touched on
Spieth.
golf once, other than today. So, it was that one we talked about the kid winning the Amex Open.
Yeah.
So on Friday, Jordan Spieth got DQ'd at the Genesis Invitational, and it was because he submitted a false scorecard or an incorrect scorecard. It was a hole where he scored it as a par when he handed it in, and it was actually a bogey. And his caddy had the right score, but Spieth didn't, so he got DQ'd. And my take on this is, why the fuck is golf the only sport where a player needs to keep track of their own score? They don't fucking do that in baseball or in hockey. Like, it's so antiquated where now everything's electronic. It's all being tracked. It's another hoop to jump through, and you're making a guy miss out on a possible fuckload of money just because of a clerical error.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like being disqualified over something like that is just kind of
You should just
foolish.
lose a stroke.
Either that or just keep, like if it's your first, I doubt this has ever happened for him before, right?
Yeah,
this is
actually.
It has
It's
happened.
like the third or fourth time it's happened. Yeah.
Well, then.
Dude,
and it's the same every time where it's a discrepancy between. And so actually, I listened to a guy talk about it who's a caddy, and he was like, what they don't do that I used to do with my players is after the round, we'd step aside before we went. Because how the rule works is you get your scores, you have your scorecard together,
area.
You have to go into the scoring area, sign it, and turn it in. As soon as you leave the scoring area, it's official. You can't go back in. So what this guy was like, we normally would wait outside the scoring area, make sure both of our cards matched. If they
Which
didn't,
is what you should do.
Yeah. I'm actually
and if they
shocked that this
didn't,
isn't
you can get clarification elsewhere and make sure you have the right score and then hand it in. It's negligence, but at the same time, this shouldn't be a thing anymore.
Yeah,
it just
on the
doesn't
PGA, dude, like with all the cameras and everything you have going on, I agree. I don't think a professional golfer should have to worry about their game, play the game, and manage to keep track of your score.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just kind of foolish. Like,
you have all these, keep track of your score in your round to watch it, but like there's scoreboards everywhere.
You have all these officials, you have cameras everywhere. Like
everything's televised. Every single golfer is shot for shot now with the Golf Channel. Like everything is digitized. There's no reason that they have to hand in a paper signed card.
Especially
It's
a guy
so stupid.
Like Spieth, where he's one that a lot of people are watching. It's not like fucking Joe Schmo. It's his first time on the tour. He's just trying to cheat his way up.
Well, it was going into Friday and or it was Friday going into Saturday. So it was the end of the day Friday, and he was like 4 under, and that par instead of a bogey would make him 5 under. The cut was like +3. It's not like that single stroke that he's trying to make up cheating would have gotten him into the weekend.
73 on Friday, finished 3 under. After making a bogey at double bogey at 18, within the cut line, which was 1 over par.
Exactly.
So that's just
so.
I think it's an antiquated rule. It doesn't need to be a part of golf, especially like you said. You got big crowds now. Golf is bigger than it's ever been. There's a lot going on now. There's a lot more moving pieces than there used to be. It's just there's no need for it. It just doesn't need to be a thing.
He really owned it though. Went on Twitter and
he always does, and he's been pretty open every time. He's just I fucked up.
Yeah, he goes, rules are rules. I take full responsibility. Love this tournament and golf as much as any on the PGA Tour. So it hurts to not have a run at it this weekend. Really appreciated the sport in LA.
So I shit you not, I was sitting on MGM Sportsbook looking at that tournament, and Spieth played well on Friday, and he was 6 shots off the pace or something, 7 shots off the pace going to the weekend, and the odds to win were +3,500, and I was literally about to put $20 on him. Yeah, and then the notifications comes through. I was like, well, that the odds are now +1 million. Somehow he gets reinstated. And then also at the Genesis was that Tiger Woods had to withdraw from after the 6th hole on Friday because yes, it was influenza. Ended up being he had a flu and like just I guess the only reason an ambulance came was because I guess they have a hospitality area at the country club that usually has IVs where you can get an IV, and they didn't have any IVs. So they called an ambulance to bring IVs so that Tiger wouldn't have to go to the hospital. And people were like freaking out about it. He was like, yeah, I just wanted an IV. I didn't want to leave.
Jesus. Going back to the speed thing, I feel like that could kind of be something that would be cool if they implemented it, right? So like it was the second round that Spieth got DQ'd, right? So instead of disqualifying the person completely, like give them a chance to still make their money and still compete, right? So he was whatever three under after those 2 rounds. Have him sit out the 3rd round. He's going to drop to wherever he's at and let him compete in the final round. You're already there anyway.
Well, the thing is though is that wouldn't really work because you're basically giving him an even par for that day that he misses.
Yeah,
that's true.
And there's other golfers that could be finishing over par.
That's true.
So it's not a disadvantage and it's not an advantage. It's kind of just like.
So then maybe come up with a different rule. You assess a whatever 5-stroke penalty.
Yeah, I think stroke penalty.
Put him at the cut.
That's actually not a bad one. No matter what your score is, I think I don't hate that. Put you at the cut, where especially if you're poised to already make it to the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you're above the cut line, you get dropped to the last possible position to make it in, and then you got to work from there.
Right.
Imagine how electric that would be. A dude that happens, and the dude comes all the way back.
That'd be insane.
He's just walking into the clubhouse. Double
Patrick Cantlay led all 3 days this week, and then Matsuyama won it today. At one point, I checked, there was 6 golfers that were like between like the 14th and 17th hole, and they all were 14 under. I'm like, we're about to just have a massive playoff hole with like 6 dudes at once, just teeing off one after another. But Matsuyama pulled it out, I guess.
He shot a 62 today, huh?
Yeah. Is that 10 under there or 9?
9.
Yeah. It's a tough course, I guess.
He was down 6 at the start of the round. No, that's
also
good,
shout out fucking who was it that hit it? Oh, Will Zalatoris hit an ace on 14, won him and his caddy a new Genesis. Pretty sweet. They went crazy.
Did you see sticking with the golf for a minute? Did you see the shit coming out of the Waste Management Open a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think
alcohol sales.
They got to dial it back, man.
Yeah.
Or if you're not going to dial it back, the problem is they said, you know what they said the attendance was across the 4 days?
It was high.
500,000 people. 500,000 people across the 4 days.
Drunk off their ass too.
So I think what you got to do and what they used to do, one, you got to limit ticket sales. Like you can't. It's got to be smaller, and I think you limit alcohol sales to like beer garden areas or the 16th hole. Yeah. Like at the 16th, make that a fucking party because players are going in expecting it. But when you got players just standing on the ropes on the fucking 17th hole, or guys trying to make a shot to win the tournament, and they're all shit-faced drunk fucking screaming at the guy, like that's, and like people are like, suck it up. It's like, but it's not sucking it up because mentally as a golfer, you're not expecting something like that.
Yeah,
you're not expecting somebody to fucking chirp you in the middle of your swing. Like it's just an assumed rule. People just don't do it.
Yeah.
They got to fix something about it because I guarantee you next year, there'll be so many top golfers that don't play in that tournament now because of how poorly it went.
Yeah. It just looks bad. And I understand people are like, oh, you got to make golf fun. There's making golf fun, and then there's looking trashy.
But the thing is like,
just trashy.
That's like saying you got to make baseball fun, and then that's like just allowing fans to sit like on the first row in the bleachers and just scream at players and throw beer at them, and like not get any repercussions. Like,
oh, that happens.
There's a line, but like this is like assumed normal at the Waste Management.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, like I want to go to the Waste Management someday.
Yeah.
But like I think the biggest
Sam's
problem
gonna get on TV with his shirt off and one of those fucking beer helmets on.
A lot of people are going to that shit that don't even know anything about golf. They're going for the party. Yeah. Like, I've done that before, but like act like you've been there before. Like, don't fucking get shit-faced and face-plant on a muddy hill and then fucking look like an asshat and have to get carried out by your friends. Like,
well, like I was saying,
figure it out.
There's
What
making
the hell's
it
wrong
fun.
with that?
Nobody's carrying your ass out.
Take like 6 people, lift the leg up. No, but there's making it fun, and then there's like looking like a college party for a bunch of 25 plus year olds. Like it doesn't look good.
Right. We're letting you go see like the Genesis this weekend. That's like a good golf tournament that has a lot of fans, but it's ran like a golf tournament.
Yeah.
It's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And like most of the golfers love the fan interactions because golf's the only sport where like the fans are on the same level as you.
Yeah.
Like you're right there. And fans can just like say whatever to you, and like most of the time people are super cool.
Yeah.
And like,
yo, shit.
I'm going to the Travelers Open or Travelers Championship with my dad in June, so we'll see how that goes. It's down in Connecticut.
Mama.
I'm pumped. So yeah, with that, we want to get into our Mount Suckmore.
Yeah.
Just one last thing real quick, in case you guys were wondering, Shohei Ohtani will not be playing in the Dodgers spring training opener. Oh,
devastated.
Big
Cam,
surprise.
I'm going to throw this one over to you because you came up with the name of Mount Suckmore.
Mount Suckmore? All right.
I don't think any of us are going to have any of the same here.
I don't think so either.
I started off, I was really thinking about this, and I thought Suckmore took it as like, okay, the player you were drafted to be and who you ended up being. Markel Fultz.
I had him as an honorable mention.
So, Celtics traded down. Guys drafted him and fucking sucks.
Can we just talk about that for a second? That it blows my mind every time to realize the Celtics traded down from picking number 1, and the 2 guys that went in front of him were Lonzo Ball and Markel Fultz, and they got Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
This grade A fleece job.
It's balls of steel on that guy. Trent Richardson, running back. He came out of Alabama. He played 2 seasons in the NFL, and then went to I think it was the XFL. And there's my favorite video of his is it went out through on Twitter. He was supposed to run left. The hole was left, and he ran right into the ass of another lineman.
That's a dude who has a mental block.
Yeah,
he's
Speaking of running into the ass of linemen, just
Mark
because
Sanchez,
Sanchez with the butt fumble, which
Mark Sanchez is a good one.
Yeah, and this is just a personal thing of mine, but Mac Jones, fuck him.
I mean, like when I thought of like Suckmore, I thought of like players that had like a long tenure in their sport and just like were never very good and somehow stuck around.
Yeah, I was more so thinking around just like things around them, written things around them, and how I kind of thought about them going on. Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll take it. See if you guys can guess. So I only have one baseball player on it, and it's a baseball player I reference all the time. He's my number one.
No, Bonzer. Oh
no, he played for the Yankees. He was a second baseman.
Oh, Chuck Knobloch.
Chuck Knobloch. Chuck Knobloch is my 1-1. That dude had a season where at second base he had 35 errors.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Still won a couple World Series though between the Yankees and the '91 Twins. So
good for that guy,
he took the cap. But Chuck was the OG yipster. That dude had the yips from second. He would literally be 15 feet away and just spike the ball into the ground. The next one I had a beloved Boston sports figure, but he was pretty ass, was Brian Scalabrine. Well, that's another guy. He just
had hating on Scal.
He just had a pretty long career, and he just wasn't really good at all. Just kind of like the consummate bench guy. And then the last 2 that I have are ones that I did some research on, and like these stats are absurd. So the third one I have is a goalie for the Red Wings from 1981 to 86. His name is Corrado Mikalev. He played 100 games in 5 years. He only got 2 shutouts, and he on average allowed 4.25 goals a game, and had a save percentage of 85.6.
Dude had a hole in his glove somewhere.
Yeah, really bad.
85.6. Well,
they said the league average is like 91 or something like that, so bad. And then I had a golfer was my last one. His name is Brett Quigley. This guy went pro in 1991 on the tour. He had 407 career starts, 0 wins. And in those 407 starts, only 34 top 10s. 34 top 10s and 407 starts.
Buddy, after the
And guess
300.
what? He still made $11 million in his career.
Maybe not, never mind. Say the 300 start, maybe you find a new career. But
still making golf, so it don't matter. I mean, that means he probably was making cuts barely. Brett Quigley was the human cut line.
Didn't want to cough into the mic.
All right, Chris, let's hear
it. So a couple of mine, I had less of like a body of work, but just some like really bad stats in there. So one of them, I had Bill Bergen, who was a baseball player from 1901 to 1911. He had 3,028 at-bats in his career with a whopping 170 batting average and 2 career home runs with a negative 6.9 WAR.
Wow. And how many at-bats?
3,028.
And how many hits did he have?
He hit 170. So not good.
So that's probably like under 400 hits.
Yeah.
That's
But Bill Bergen held a 102-year record for going 45 at bats without a hit. In case you guys were wondering.
Was it Chris Davis that broke it?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah. It was Bill Bergen's record that he broke.
Shout out Bill Bergen. Great name.
Shout out Bill Bergen. Next one I had was a golfer. Name was Maurice Flitcroft.
It's a great name.
Somehow, some way, I read up on it. He finagled his way into the 1976 Open Championship. He got this inspiration while he was watching a Piccadilly tournament, believe it or not. So finagled his way into the Open in 76. He shot a 49 over 121.
I've heard this story, yeah.
Yep. So that same year, following the Open, the rules were changed so that he could never enter it again. But he tried using pseudonyms such as Gene Paychecky to make it sound like paycheck, and then Gerald Hoppy. He also used Arnold Palmtree and used a disguise to try and get his way in.
So there was actually a tournament this year that it was one of the early, or it was a non-tour event. It was one of the ones they did in the fall for like the FedEx Fall Cup, and it was an open, or it was an invitational. And in invitationals, you can have there's sponsor exemptions, so sponsors can send players. Like each sponsor gets like X amount of players to send. And one of the sponsors sent a guy that shot like 148. It was like 65 over. They said like the sum of the stat was insane. Where like he could have had 50% of his shot total, and he still wouldn't have made the cut. He could have cut his shots in half, and he wouldn't have made.
Hey, well, you know what? That guy can say he played in a professional golf tournament. All right.
Yep.
So good for that guy. Next one I had was Mr. Ryan Leaf, who played a whopping 4 years in the NFL after being considered the second best player in the draft behind Peyton Manning. That didn't really pan out. So he was drafted third overall, went 4-14 as a starter, 13 touchdowns to 33 interceptions.
I believe he also went to jail.
Starts. So I'm getting.
Okay. Hold your horses.
So Chargers cut him, went to the Bucks. They offered him a 4-string starting job and less pay. Refused. Cut him. Signed with the Cowboys 2 days later. Failed his physical. Cut him. Went to Seattle. They wanted to develop him. Then he retired right before the start of the season with no notice. But he's been arrested for burglary, controlled substances, burglary again, theft, drugs again, and domestic battery. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, but only served 2.
I actually saw a podcast with him like a couple weeks ago, and I guess he's like actually like seemed like a pretty good dude now. Actually,
no, good for him.
Like kind of talked about how much of a fuckhead he was and how much of an idiot he was when he was younger, and like dude, it was actually pretty interesting. He seemed like a genuinely good dude.
Sounds like he was Johnny Manziel before Johnny Manziel at that point.
Speaking of Johnny Manziel, dude's fucking nice at golf.
Is he?
Really, really good golf.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably had a lot of time to pick it up after his NFL career.
He literally moved to Scottsdale so that he could play golf.
Good for that guy.
Yeah.
And then last one I had is the entire 1998 Asia Oceanic Junior U18 hockey team. They They lost the game to South Korea 92-0. A hockey game, 92-0.
Yikes!
This was
They just went down. Like I don't.
They let up 72 shots in the first period. In case you were
Oh, I thought you were
Korea,
going to say they
too.
get up 72 shots and somehow the team scored 92 goals.
Could you imagine? That'd be something.
I mean, the goalie must have been going to work.
Wait.
If they had 72 shots in the first period.
It was 92-0 at the end.
Yeah.
And they let up 72 shots in the first period.
So I'm saying the goalie must have been standing on their head a little bit.
So they 20 shots for the rest of the game. How bad of a first period? What happened in the
not
first
20
period?
shots the rest of the game. They had 70-something shots. They didn't score on all of them.
Right.
I mean, they might have. I don't know. But fucking final score was 92-0.
Who was this again?
Asia Oceanic Junior U18 hockey team in 1998. So they went 0-5 in the tournament with a minus 214 goal differential.
5 games?
5 games.
You can play 5 games of basketball and struggle to have that kind of point differential.
They don't have hockey rinks out there, so I don't know.
That reminds me of that. What's that movie that came out? That new soccer movie that came out where it's like the Samoan team and like they've played in this tournament like years and years in a row and have never even scored a goal. And they hire this new coach and their goal is not even to win a game; it's just to score a goal at some point in the tournament. I guess it's based on a true story too.
Hey, good for them.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at this whole championship, like from 1998. There's some wild fucking scores in this game.
I believe it.
Thailand lost to South Korea 92-0, to China 31-0, to Japan 58-0, and then New Zealand 12-2.
I didn't even know they played hockey in this part of the world.
Neither did I.
I knew Japan had a team.
New Zealand's got to be pretty shit, only scoring 12 goals on these shitters and letting up 2.
They ain't got ice down there either. Oh, they do. It's kind of cold. I've been there.
Yeah, New Zealand also lost 38-0 to Japan in that same year.
Like, do they just not believe in defense?
High octane. They all just stand to the other side of the ice, just waiting for the puck to get there, and then they attack.
This is why
it's just an ongoing shootout. So you don't score, the puck keeps moving, you get a chance, you get a chance,
I like to see the individual stat lines for that 92 goal effort.
I'm trying to find that. I just can't. Every time I click on one of the links, it brings me to the South Korean Wikipedia page, which is not what I'm looking for.
Perfect. Have you guys seen that? Speaking of Wikipedia, made me think of this. You've seen that someone made a game where someone will just say like a random thing, and you have to look that up on Wikipedia, and then someone else in the room will give you another thing, and you have to see how long just by clicking links in Wikipedia you can get from one thing to the other.
I have seen that.
Yeah,
Wikipedia
it looks so fun.
speedrunning.
Let's see.
This is why we need cameras back in the 90s. Take videos of this shit so you know.
They probably destroyed it. They probably ran out of film.
Song Dong-hwan of South Korea was the top scorer for the tournament. Had 56 points in 5 games with 44 goals and 12 assists.
Oh my god! That's a full NHL season right there.
Shit.
Holy Moses.
That's terrible.
All right, well, we got anything else? Want to wrap it there?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, we'll be back for the Tristan Cassis episode, number 36, next week. Catch y'all on the flip-flop. We gone.
Later.